This video that I'm releasing right now, it has no PDF, but I want to cover what services are offered by a recording studio. This information is very hard to find on the internet, and you guys need to know this. Immediately going into this, we're going to talk about pre-production. Now, pre-production is basically like a planning stage, a stage for you to really get to know the song, know what it consists of, and it allows you to change the song and listen back to the song in its driest form. Because basically when you're recording, you don't record it like how you're going to have it at the very end. You record it just to hear it. That way you can pick it apart, find out what it's missing, what it needs, what needs to be moved around in arrangement, all kinds of different ideas in that aspect. The best way for me to describe pre-production or anything in that matter is this maze right here. Consider this maze your song. And in this maze, you're trying to get to the center of that maze. All right, you start from the outside, you're getting to the center. The thing is, with pre-production, you actually get to see the maze from the top view like this before you even start. So you actually get to plan your route. You actually get to knock out all that heavy lifting about where you're going to go and making sure you're not going to run into walls before you actually start your recording and tracking and mixing, and you know where the song's going. It's very important to make sure that the pre-planning of where you're going to get your final product is done in pre-production. The service that's after pre-production is usually recording or tracking. Now, recording and tracking is basically getting the recorded sounds. You shouldn't be thinking about what you're going to do and how you're going to make different things during tracking. You should already have everything planned out for pre-production. So you should be ready to just put your track down, put the emotion behind it, and basically give the performance of your life. This is a vital stage to make sure that you have good stuff coming in, to have good stuff coming out at the end. The next section, we're going to talk about post-production. This is the next thing you do after tracking. It's my favorite. It's a lot of studio engineers' favorite. It's where we get to be creative. It's where we help paint your picture. But we don't want to confuse post-production with mixing. A lot of hip-hop artists don't understand the idea of post-production and the reference to mixing as well. Mixing is levels, adjustment, a little bit of EQ if need be, and this is more of an effects-based processing. So as you can see, there's a bunch of different effects that we can use in the studio. We're all excited to use them, make things sound weird, interesting, and make things actually sound like they have a space to them. Delays, processing, phasers, all kinds of great tools are out there, but it's really important to use these tools with somebody in the studio and get what you want. It's really important to work with that engineer or that producer and really kind of go for the vibe of the song and tell them, this is how this feels. I want to add a music part right here. I want to drop everything out. I want to tape stop. I want to do this. Basically, this is where you actually start making creative decisions for your track after tracking is finally complete. Right after post-production comes mixing. Mixing is the last step before you actually go to mastering, so it's really where you get a chance to make the song right. And some parts even get cut out during the mixing process, and then a lot of mixing has to do with volume and automation. Sometimes we pan, sometimes we automate, sometimes we move things from one speaker to the other in volume and in left to right in the stereo field. Mixing is more of an art of painting a picture of the song. You're able to go through the song, paint the picture, and be able to describe the energy in some sections and then the energy dying down in other sections. It basically makes the song have a roller coaster of feeling as it progresses. Mixing and automation does have effects sometimes, but it's mainly for adjusting volume, pan, and other items. The final step in all of this now is mastering. Mastering, as it says here, the final touches, you have a great mix already. The mix that you have is phenomenal. You don't want to deviate too much from the mix because the mix is what you've deemed as acceptable and what sounds good. Mastering just enhances the feel of that song. It basically makes the song have a little bit more compression. The song gets a little louder in volume, and then the song maybe feels a little wider. Mastering can do a lot of things depending on how you master, but it's actually just finishing touches to make the song sit in the space and meld everything together so that you have a nice cohesive track that actually sounds like it was put together well.